Welcome to an episode of Singapore Real Estate Explained, where I break down numbers and figures for Singapore real estate investments. And today, we have a very hot topic on hand, which is Watten House. And this data just came out fresh from the oven a few days ago, and we came out to crunch out all the numbers, analysis, the site plan to bring more in-depth analysis for this project itself. And a lot of people are anticipating that. So without much further ado, let's go. So some recap about this project, which I've done, in fact, a few months ago, about a very brief analysis of it when the data were quite preliminary. But right now, we have more. So recap is a UL project, okay, done together with Singapore Land, 286 units, found in District 10 at Watten Estate area, and it's near to your Tan Kah Kee MRT, which is right over here. So it's about 9 minutes walk from Tan Kah Kee. It's a little deep into the Watten area. Okay, and if you want to walk a little further, if you like taking on a challenge, it's 15 minutes walk to Botanic Gardens. Okay, but today we'll be breaking down the numbers in terms of the entry price, the site plan analysis, and most importantly, the layout comparative as compared to other condominiums around the area. So this is something that we hope to bring a fresh perspective. Okay, so next, okay, first thing that we have to take note is what exactly is the game plan if you were to buy into Watten House. Okay, so Watten House is a project that is very unique because it's one of the biggest land plot size that have been launched for the past close to 20 to 30 years, and you haven't had such a big land plot coming up for some time within this area. Okay, so that's why every 10 years, that's why they have always been saying Bukit Timah will launch one plot of land that is huge. Okay, and if you look into this particular area, at the top, okay, Watten House, I say this entire area is landed area, and look a little upwards across the PIA Expressway, you notice there are a lot of land called subject detailed planning, and they are all zoned as residential. So you look at this, you must understand Watten House is a longer term play, because what we see is around the area, there won't be any upcoming new land plots. They'll be very, very prominent. They'll push out unless there's an en bloc, which is something that we may want to hope for. But typically, if you hope for longer term, a lot of this government land will be developed into a 99-year lease plot. And if you have an upcoming new condo that's 99-year launch right opposite around the same area, and this estate area, what I'll notice is that this is something that can be hatched in the long term run. But for the short term period, there's mainly perhaps this upcoming land plot over here, okay, nearer to the Adam Park Road, okay, right here. And this is, if there is an upcoming GLS, it will be the more immediate one that may be launching. But for now, not so soon. Okay, so next up, we need to understand, if you look towards the right to Botanic Garden, there's upcoming transformation happening over here. Along, if you move all the way to the left of this diagram, this is actually Tough City, which we officially shifting out in end of this year, 2023. So if you were to venture into this area, it's somewhere that's exciting, somewhere that's worth looking at a longer horizon to hatch against all these things that's coming out in this area to hatch a long-term growth. Alright, and once again, plot ratio is 1.4. So for Watten House Estate, because it's surrounding a lot of very important people, VIP, so they don't want a high rise. Okay, so to prevent sniping or like a privacy with issues if you were to have a high rise that can look into other people's landed homes. Okay, so it's something that is very unique in this area itself. Okay, so one more thing to take note is right in front, if you wonder what is exactly over here around Watten House Estate, which we'll cover a little more in the site plan area, it's all covered by landed. So over here, you have almost close to unblocked view, 360 view, and even the Adam Park area over here, which is all filled with the landed bungalows especially. This is something that we will be thankful that there won't be any upcoming high-rise that will block your view anytime soon. Alright? Okay, so next up, let's run into the numbers, the break-even price for this project. So it was bought back in 2021, some time ago, close to 2 years ago. Okay, so they have another 3 more years left, plus another half a year, 3.5 years. So the break-even price you're looking at this project, okay, because you bought it early, is at 2,678 per square feet. Wow, amazing, because this is the old Lambic prices that you can have over here. So at 2,678 per square feet. Okay, let's take a look at what will be the launch price for this project. Okay, so before that, let's run through the layout first. Okay, this is something that just came out in the market, so let's run through the numbers. So in terms of layout wise, okay, Watten House has a very unique mix play. Okay, there's no 2-bedder, no 1-bedder, because they know over there is the demand for 2-bedder to 1-bedder in this particular Watten Estate area especially. Okay, maybe not nearer to other areas, which is at Stevens or at 6th Avenue. For this estate, they noticed that the demand for the 2-bedders, even though it's big size, may not be as high. So they immediately went to a 3-bedder. Okay, and one thing I presume why they actually did this is because ever since the 2019-2020 period, they came out ruling where the minimum size of the average size of a condo unit within a development have increased from 70 square meter to 85 square meter. So this is actually one way, okay, especially when you have very low density, less than 300 units, 285 units. They want to make sure they hit this by the target, yet maximize the space. So what they do is, naturally the average size of unit will be bigger. And if they figure out that, hey, 2-bedders are not really fetching the demand they have, so naturally they will start from 3-bedder, especially a 3-bedroom compact and 990 square feet, which is quite decent as compared to the past 3 years of new launches, where you see some are going 861, 883 square feet. Alright, so there are two kinds of 3-bedders here. There's 990 square feet and a 1163 square feet, which we'll run through later on. And then we have the 3-bedder plus study, the 4-bedder, the 5, even the penthouse. So the 3-bedder plus study, you see, the jump is huge. 1539 square feet. Okay, so they did really do their homework, because if you know and analyze the surrounding resale over here, okay, one thing they notice that has the demand of people who living here, they love huge sizes at Watten Estate because they are used to landed. Even if they are downsized, they want something of a decent size. So you can see the next jump is actually quite huge. 400 square feet, 1539, bigger living area. So they actually did something very interestingly to cater to two groups. 40 units out of 285, which is only less than 20%. Okay, they are catered to upgraders who just want to get into Watten Estate, which yes, maybe there's something that people will take. Okay, then followed by that, the rest of them, they're actually focusing on people staying in the same area. Okay, big units, and they want to find something new, but yet at the same time not lose the luxury of size. Okay, all landed downgraders. So naturally you see 60 units, 36 units, 36 units. Majority of them starting at 1539 square feet, 1851 square feet, okay, and 2368 square feet. So all of this, okay, notice they all come with private lift. Okay, and this is something that we need to take note later on. Okay, but last but not least, we have the penthouse, which is huge. We'll share with you later. It's quite interesting. They're coming to 6 or 7 bedrooms. Really looking at landed owners who just want a penthouse, okay, which is crazy because it could cross close to already confirmed of past 10 million, 50 million, a very niche group of buyers. Okay, so without much further ado, let's jump into the layout analysis. Okay, so layout wise, in terms of a 3-bedder, it starts with a compact 3-bedroom. Very interesting, very regular layout. Each can put a queen size or even king size bed for master bedroom. Okay, very efficient. In fact, they actually put the kitchen area flush all the way to the right. Okay, and it comes with an enclosed door. Okay, and it has a window. What's in the area, if you talk about Watten Estate, people who wants at least a decent house to stay in that area, they tend to want to have a place where they can cook, the place where they can have enclosed kitchen. But something very interesting, they have a very long aircon latch over here because it's still within the old ruling. Before the area harmonization effect that came in 2022 last year. Okay, this is something that if you have yet to understand more, I mean, do watch our previous video to find out more. But right here, they do a very longer aircon latch to actually charge to the person. Okay, living area, very compact, very more of efficient size, not very big, 3-seater. We have a TV, just barely able to fit a 4 or even 6-seater dining area over here. Okay, but they come in with storerooms too. Okay, which is squeezed over here. So it's very efficient usage of space because usually for a lot of 3-bedder that have this size, they may end up doing not either even open concept kitchen for some nowadays, or in fact, they'll flush it at the right over here, which will take up some space. So this is something that they're trying to maximize the space usage. Okay, so it's very catered for upgraders. Okay, and not many units, maybe about 10 plus units, that's this kind of layout. Okay, but something that is more regular, which they may be catering to the more of the masses who want to upgrade, okay, is this particular layout, 1163 square feet. A 3-bedder, where we can see this is a more typical. We have a longer kitchen, bigger kitchen area, storeroom, okay, along with very nice sized bedrooms, okay, slightly bigger than the 990 square feet, along with a larger master room. Okay, so more spacious, more decent, something that people will be more open, palatable to actually consider in terms of a new launch over here. Okay, and then we have the 3-bedroom plus study, which is very interesting. You can see, as I mentioned just now, 400 square feet jump. And what they want to do, okay, is they want to shout one thing, which is luxury. And if you look at all this, okay, very interesting. You have a very big living area, okay. Easily can put an 8-seater over here. And I think they squeeze in is a private room. Okay, a private lift. Okay, along with a storeroom over here. And the kitchen is almost like double the size, triple the size of a usual compact bedroom. So this is something that they are actually angle towards people who have the capacity to actually easily purchase a 4 to 5 million condo, and yet they don't want to stay in the landed. So this is something that is very niche targeting, but still there are people who are staying there already, have this kind of layout, which you see later on. And for the bedroom, minimally is even a king size bed can fit. And you have a very interesting, big, like I can say a common room, or even in fact, something I can consider as even like a size of a junior master over here, along with a huge master bedroom, which you can put your own massage chair, 欧星天王椅 over here, for enjoying your room space. And you have a walk-in wardrobe. Okay, along with a study, which can double as a mini study room over here. So it's very well catered to large size family and people who are looking to downgrade from landed, who don't need such a big space. Okay, it's something that they actually captures market very well because they know demographic there. Especially when we have sold quite a few resale over there, this is something that is very well thought out in terms of layout wise. Okay, and then there's another 3-bedroom plus study, which is, so the only difference between this second layout is actually at the bedroom right over here. You can see not much of a huge diff, but typically what we see is the master bedroom here is more flush, closer to the bedroom here. But while this one over here is a little shorter and wider. So it's just a different layout, but typically it's quite similar, 1539 square feet. Okay, so next let's take a look at another kind of layout for 3-bedroom plus study, 1539 square feet. Very interesting. They give a lot of free play. We have this one over here where we see a private lift instead of flush at the start is actually in the middle of the unit. Okay, and the kitchen area, if you notice this before and after, the difference in size is while the yard is very long at the back, this one is a little shorter, more compact, more squarish, which can double up as a very nice mid corner, okay, like for next to a storeroom, okay, as compared to this where the storeroom is actually tight at the center, okay, just before the entrance of the wet kitchen. Okay, so what some people do over here is that because it has a very nice home shelter concept, so people may have preferred this kind of concept of a storeroom to a washroom. So this is something that we may see more popularity in terms of this kind of layout. Okay, but unless it's quite pretty similar in terms of the rest of the layout. All right. And next up, we have the 4-bedroom. So 4-bedroom is one more bedroom. You can see as quite obvious. It's right smack over here. It's squeezing flush between the kitchen and the bathroom. Okay, right here. So the difference is it has one more bathroom right here. Okay, as compared to the 3-bedder, which only have a 2 bath, 1, 2 right here. And the next thing is the kitchen is a little different. Okay, when you hit the 4-bedroom, you can see that the kitchen, they tend to want to make it more luxurious, more spacious, open concept, yet close. Okay, this very similar to a certain show flat that we've seen before, a luxe show flat at this place called Avenue, okay, which is all the way at River Valley area, where they actually do up this kind of kitchenette. It's like almost like, like 360 around kitchen island. You have all this, and it gives a very luxurious when you walk in. You can cook while looking into the dining area. Okay, and this is only doable when there's more space to play with. So this is something that, yes, it will actually start to have more take up in terms of people who are looking to downsize from landed especially, and still have a few family members who want to stay. Okay, and they are targeted very nicely, along with primarily flush to the right, a huge living area, and quite similar in terms of rest of the room as compared to 3-bedder for this 4-bedroom. Okay, and next we have the 5-bedroom. Okay, so for 5-bedroom, very similar to Avenir also, and quite a few luxury flats like Klim, etc., where you have junior master. So we have a 5-bedder. Okay, what happened? The junior master will be flush all the way to the other side. Okay, we have privacy. Okay, we have the private lift over here. So in some cases, I've seen some family even doing up like a dual key concept where they actually put a partition here with 2-door access. So you have reserved a certain area for your private dining, and yet at the same time having here for like a mini cooking area, or in fact a balcony. But most of them actually does a reserve as it is, because luxury just means I want to have more space, more usability of the space, and enjoy a big balcony. Okay, very iconic, and you have a bigger kitchen, so bigger with a yacht and a storeroom at the back. Okay, and the rest is very similar to the 4-bedder. So it's something that if you capture this entire concept of luxury, it transcends value sometimes. I mean, the number sometimes in a PSF, people are willing to pay top dollar. It's just like how, for example, someone who is earning like maybe 100 million, 200 million, as compared to someone who is earning maybe 3 or 4 million, or I mean having a 10 million net worth, for example. They think very differently. They see a product as a like own use space rather than one that is more like investment focused. And that is when they value space much more. So there's something that when you hit to this luxury group, 4-bedder, 5-bedder, there's something to take note. They don't think normally the higher floor, the better. Okay, the larger space, the better. The best facing, the best view always is worth more. And they're willing to pay top dollar for it. So the investment philosophy does switch a bit when it comes to this kind of a quantum play. All right. And last but not least, we have something very interesting, the penthouse, which is a very interesting concept. Okay. It's very similar to the 5-bedder, except if you have a smaller family area, quite a family room, because you climb up the stairs, okay, you have another big area where you have a huge living area here. Okay, right here. And you have your own mini garden outside. You walk out. I mean, this is not part of your GFA. Okay, so it's a very interesting concept with exterior garden area. Okay, but if you scroll in all the way, it's a communal landscape. Okay, and if you look at the right, you have a very huge master bedroom that has your own bathtub, your own walk-in wardrobe. It's very luxury. So that's why let's take a look. The price is upon inquiry. Okay, so it's very interesting. You have to just try a price. And one thing to think is very interesting is it's quite rare for duplex nowadays to have a private lift access 2 stories. Okay, but this particular penthouse do have this luxury. So it's really reserved for people who really want a luxurious lifestyle, huge floor plate to replicate a landed, okay, that they just downsize, maybe downgraded from a good class bungalow. They don't mind just buying this as a retirement home. All right, so there's something to take note. Okay, and in terms of the other penthouse, okay, the only difference is, okay, it's really a multi-generation family. The previous penthouse only have, if you count, okay, you go back to the previous slide, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then one of the top 6 bedrooms. But if you look at this, another layout, which is even bigger, that's 3,005, is 4,000 square feet. You see at 3,000 plus per square, it will be shouting way plus, or it could be even 4,000 per square feet. It really depends on how the person is willing to pay for it and whether the developer is willing to let go. But over here at the base area, you can see there's a total of 6 bedrooms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's really, wow, a multi-generation home, a good class bungalow downgrader. And this itself, okay, creates a lot of utility for space. Okay, and you climb up to the second floor, the parallel unit, same thing, same layout. Okay, so we have a communal space, and the only access you can come is right over here. We have the communal space, okay, where you can enjoy this particular access, which is quite nice. You have your own lawn area to do your gardening, right? So there's something that is very exciting. That let's see what someone will bid for this land, for this unit. All right. So this is for the floor plan analysis, okay, because I hope to go more in depth to unwrap what exactly the ultra network thinking, okay. So next up, we'll run through the site plan. So site plan, okay, if you look at it, very interesting, okay. The only one thing that a little more may weigh down on the luxury factor is that the units are a little more packed closer to each other, okay. So not as ideal because for ultra lux, okay, if you really look at the ultra high net worth space, you'll be seeing that a lot of them, they like to have very unutilized space. Big, far away, not so compact. Okay, but because to maximize the profit margin, understandable, UOL will definitely want to maximize the land use. So the blocks are a little closer to each other. Okay, but let's take a look at the different view. Okay. So one thing to take note is a Watten House view. Okay, the one thing why they lay out in this manner, in this very interesting site plan manner, because if you want to expose the site plan to be able to view the 360 degree of the landed view. Okay, so you can see a lot of them are unblocked. Okay, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, even for this, okay, only a few of them is either facing the pool view, but most of them are angled towards facing the unblocked landed view. So there's some example. You can see, in this view, you can easily see Bukit Timah, Holland Village, one-off area all the way to the far, and all these are landed. So amazing, you won't have any block view, okay, unless you are, your second story or third story. But even that, the distance is still quite decent. And then right over here, you have the greenery view, surrounded by three very nice trees right beside you. Okay, and also on the other side at the end, you also have unblocked landed view. So this is something that is very interesting because at the end of the day, you're able to get 360 unblocked landed view if you buy those that are facing the same stack. But honestly, for myself, okay, some individuals, they do prefer pool view, you can see over here. Okay, and it's inspired by Asian modernistic architecture that they hope to replicate that in the modern luxury in Asia Pacific. All right. And if you look at the different layouts, it's very interesting how they actually space out each of the individual units for the 3-bedder. Okay, so first up, for the 3-bedroom over here, okay, stack 11. Okay, stack 11 over here, only one is facing towards the pool, the small pool, but rest of them is angled facing outwards. Okay, and the same thing for the 108 square meter. They're all side by side with the 990 square feet unit. Okay, as compared to the 163 unit. And for the 3-bedroom study, let's take a look at the layout right over here. Okay, so if you look at the different stacks, 7, 18, and 20. Okay, they actually space it very closely to a different units over here. So it's something that when you look at this kind of site map, you're able to sort of like come out with a price matrix for what exactly the pricing may be, because this may be actually rated slightly lower as compared to those as unblocked. Okay, and with that, we also have 31, stack 31 over here. There's the only one with the another interesting layout where it's 30 and 31 right here. Okay, and we have the last few stacks, okay, which is the more interesting kind of layout where we had a prior leaf in the center and something that is more spacious for the kitchen area. It's all in stack 32 and stack 3. Okay, and this will be the more premium stack, so you can see. Very nice layout. Okay, they sell nice layout. They sell unblocked view. So this is some areas where we can see they will charge as a premium for those that are looking at unblocked views. All right. Okay, next up, let's take a look at the 4-bedroom. So the 4-bedder, okay, you can see they have already thought all this in mind. Okay, where they have two different kinds of units. It's either or unblocked facing, the landed, or they want to face the main pool, which is a luxurious pool. So it is something that they price out. And in fact, there could be a chance where both are the same price. Okay, but my prediction is the unlanded facing view definitely may have a premium because it's unblocked and people love unblocked views. Okay, and this is something that all of them are in general. Okay, one thing to take note. Okay, if you look right over here, they are very inclined toward north-south facing. Okay, but there's only one for Sec 21 and 22 where there will be a bit of west sun, okay, coming in over here. Okay, so 5 beta and also the penthouse, we won't be talking about it because it's something that is another league by itself. So if you're keen to find out more, do approach channel of our broker, then we'll dive deeper into those kind of layout analysis. Okay, and next up, in terms of the facilities, right, the site plan, you can see, okay, very compact to each other. But one thing to take note is, in terms of facility, it's quite decent. In terms of the lap pool we have over here, it does have an aqua lounge. You have a very big playground right here, playground area. Okay, along with the fact of the usual, like your garden right over here at the back, right in front is a security lounge. Okay, and one thing that is very interesting for the clubhouse. You look at the clubhouse, if you scroll all the way in, okay, at number 20, right over here. Okay, it's actually facing towards the pool area, the small pool. Okay, so it's a I say a decent clubhouse just for gathering. But one thing that they want to sell this space is really the unit layout itself, along with the fact of the location, the prestige of it. Alright. Okay, so next, let's take a look, okay, at the estimated launch price. So before we dive into the launch price, we have to do a little more like historical analysis in terms of how exactly UL usually price a price. Okay, so this is something that is very interesting because we notice that UL has a very unique kind of pricing. Okay, so one thing, for example, AMO residence, if you know UL, interestingly, fun fact, 99% sold out on the first day. So you look at AMO, okay, the break-in price is 1822 per square feet. Okay, and if you look at the launch price by itself, okay, up to 24, okay, but if you look at on some 2000, my client bought at almost 1009 back then for this particular project. Okay, it went up to even 22, 23, 24 for the higher floor, and he's already at 24, he's already at 18, okay, but on average it's about 2112. Okay, so they want to be 15.9% above the break-even price, okay, on average. And it's something very decent with some developers charging 40, 50, 60% to capture market. But you can see UL strategy is very interesting. You look at, okay, most projects, they actually angle this year and last year, okay, a lot of them, they actually aim for sell. Because they want to make sure that they don't hold too much inventory. They cash out the amount they have given by the buyers to them, and they pump it into another project. So it's more of a very interesting strategy. So something is even for taking note of, because with this, we're able to hopefully get a more reasonable entry price rather than one that's overpriced. Okay, and one thing to take note is if you look at later on, okay, that's at 2120, but these are all penthouse unit, okay, which is finally sold, and that was almost 100% sold later on. Okay, next up, okay, a very interesting one is Pine Grove. So Pine Grove, they know location is not the most central, so they price it very sensitively, even lower than some of the OCR prices. Okay, later on you will see. Okay, so break even is 2248. Okay, with some client they bought around 2002. Okay, below break even for some, but one thing to take note, okay, on average you can see, okay, 23 to 24. Okay, so some are slightly above break even, and one thing to take note is in terms of Pine Tree Hill, this area, okay, 2003-24 is a very decent kind of concept. And if you look at compared to the break-even price, UL is quite sensitive in terms of pricing. If they know that, hey, like I know I buy slightly higher, I want to make a profit margin first, okay, and then dollar cost average later on, they're willing to launch cheaper. Okay, and this is very iconic, okay, of another project at this place called Avenue South that launched in 2018-2019 period, where they actually sold only like less than 10 or 15%, okay, they did 30% at the start. Then they really price stage all the way. So this is two strategies, okay, one they do. One is they price it sensitively. They can make a profit margin, they want to sell and just move on. But if they know that, hey, the market may not be as receptive to the pricing yet, they don't mind selling close to break even. And what they do next for UL, if you notice, a lot of their projects is they price stage strategically, like Avenue South, we buy 1,008 at the start, 1,009, and now they hit 2,526 per square feet for the higher floor, or even some hit closer to even 2,700, okay, for some. And there are some things that they take note. in order to hedge the price and making sure people enter first is able to hedge on this particular trend and future price 3 years or 4 years down the road. Okay, so this is something very reassuring for UOL for this project. And later on, you can see they actually move up to 24, 25, went a little bit. Okay, and they are in the midst of selling and staging up the price. Okay, and as more launches and RCR comes out at 25, 26, 27, that's where this slowly raise up the price. Okay, this is something that you need to understand for developer behavior, which is very interesting. So with this, let's look at the key topic we're going to see today. What is the predictive launch price we're looking at? Okay, in fact, this is indicative. We just got it a few days ago, as I mentioned, and you can see, very interestingly, 3-bedroom, 990 square feet. They're launching at 3.0x million. Okay, the bigger unit 1163 is about 3.5x million. So you can see the PSF they're launching 3,000 to 3.1. Okay, it's a very reasonable price. Okay, we'll share with you why later on for this PSF, but you can see 3 to 3.5. Wow, you always compare to the past, but the past never comes back. So honestly, this kind of pricing is something that we do take note of. Future price. So whether this price can continue to attract the demand and people are willing to buy, this is something we will figure out later on in terms of unit analysis and the pricing matrix analysis. Okay, and next up, in terms of 3-bedroom plus study over here, they're starting from 4.7x million, okay, which is 3,112 per square feet. Okay, very understandable. This kind of PSF. And in fact, some of the resale are going at about this pricing also. Okay, for older resale. But that's why when they price it, it's something that they did really think it through rather than just calling a high price and just hoping the market will catch up. Okay, then the fourth one, which is the 4-bedroom, 5.9x million. Wow. In some cases, some can buy a landed, but in the area, impossible. Very, very tough. That's why they know that if someone cannot afford a landed over there, the next upcoming, it will be like a 4-bedroom. And they did plan it well because landed nowadays are going at like 9, 10 million around the area or even up. Okay, even for inter-terrace, for some of them, yeah, at least 8+. Yeah, for something that is new build, even higher. So this is something that we do have to take note in terms of the landed prices. And from there, they actually price it very sensitively to capture this market for these downgraders. Okay, last one, 5-bedroom, 7.4. Wow, can buy strata landed for some. So this is something that to compare, it has pros and cons that we have to take note. Okay, last one on the list is penthouse, which should return over here upon request. Okay, and one thing to take note about the PSF, if you look a little deeper, you notice, okay, the developer do sort of like perhaps predict that the 4-bedder may perhaps be the one that is more popular. Okay, that's something that angled it very nicely at 3,002 per square feet. Okay, even higher than a smaller bedroom. Okay, which is not very common if you talk about OCR project with outskirts area like in Jurong area, etc., where the higher the bigger the unit, the higher the size of the unit, okay, the lower the PSF. But for Lux project, it is a little different, as I mentioned. You may put on a different cap, a luxury cap, and the bigger the unit, sometimes you have a higher the PSF. So there's something that is a very, very interesting you need to take note. All right. So next up, we have the comparative analysis. Let's take a look. The price, does it really make sense as compared to resale? Okay, so there are two comparative that we'll be taking a look at. But before that, let's take a look at the surrounding. Then say, wow, so many condo. But take note. Okay, I won't going very deep into this, but one thing to take note is that a lot of this condo right beside are small boutique developments. Okay, so is it good or not? That's something that is a topic for another day. But what we're going to compare with today for Watten Estate will be the bigger developments. Okay, which over here we have something newer, more than 2,000 completion. I mean, completion under 2,000. We only have two, which is Adam Park, okay, and the Shelford. Okay, so with this, let's run through. Okay, there's this nearby. Okay, one is towards here, Adam Park, and one is towards south. Okay, which is the Shelford. Okay, all of them are freehold. The only difference is they are 20 years older. So there's something to take note because the design will be outdated, maybe old. The Shelford is something newer. Okay, but key thing is this something something very old. Okay, still very old. Still very old. But Watten House is something that is a brand new guy in the kit, and a brand new kid on the block. brand new guy in the kid, brand new kid at the block. Okay, and this is something that whether this particular unit will be able to withstand this competition. Let's understand a little more. All right. So first candidate we have here is the Shelford. Okay, for the resale. So current indicative price is about 2,002 per square feet. Okay, it is actually closer to the Dunnan Road area. In fact, it's only 6 minutes walk to the Botanic MRT. As compared to Watten, it's all the way very deep in. Okay, so it's about 9 minutes walk to Tankaki MRT. Okay, I say decent. Most people there would drive. But one thing to take note for if you want to buy for pure investment. Okay, one thing to take note for this area, the rental yield tend to be lower. Below 3%, 2.7%, when now you can fetch 3.5 to 4 in other areas, or even something 5% to 6% if you don't want to do it right. But what happened is that this area, if you want to buy, okay, which most people are buying here, they'll be actually buying for own stay. Means they buy, hatch a capital growth game rather than one for pure rental returns. Okay, unless they don't mind parking money here just to own an estate that is of good value. Alright, so one thing to take note is rental is not high, but in the Shelford estate, the Shelford, you can see 1399 square feet, the 3-bedder, okay, you can see 3.38 million. Okay, a 2-bedder over here, 1003 to 1227 is 2.4 to 2.6. Okay, so this you can see very obvious that the unit over here, okay, this is a patio, that's a level 1, 1227. Even for the 2-bedder, it's huge. So this is something that they're going for. And for the bigger bedroom, like 2411 square feet, you can see they got 5.1 million. Okay, so it's really hitting the pricing of a new launch already. Okay, so what we can do is to compare the layout. So layout wise for Shelford, okay, of course the bedroom will be bigger. For bedroom 2, bedroom 3 is about the same. But one thing is Shelford back then, okay, for an older development, you can see there's a lot of bay window. So those were the days where developer just want to maximize profit where they basically don't be charged, okay, on development charges by the government on this bay window. So they actually built a lot of all this bay window. In some cases, they even have it within the bathroom even. But this is still decent, not too bad. Okay, but let's take a look at the pricing. 3.38 million transacted just this year, 23rd August 2023. So if you look at something more compact, newer, 20 years newer, 22 years newer to be exact, more compact, at 990, something at 3, it's a decent entry price where people are just, alright, I mean, for something new, the developer price it in the more sensitive way that people are still willing to take, okay, for something more compact. And for something bigger, okay, that is more usable in terms of space, you can see the difference in this layout is, okay, the 1399 is bay window, there are some longer corridor. Okay, of course, living room area is bigger. Okay, and they have a private lift over here. So there are some areas, if you cut it off, the size will be about 1,002 plus per square feet. And this very fulfill the usability of the space. We developed prime very well to about 3.5. So for just a little bit of top up, you can get something brand new. Okay, the Shelford, it does help the Watten case in terms of the pricing justification. Okay, and you can see somebody else asking 3.5 million view to offer, which is usually minimum. I want 3.5 and above, or slightly below 3.5, but rarely. This is some asking price that you're hedging against a future pricing for the Shelford. Okay, and then you look at the 4-bedroom. So 4-bedroom, you can see for Shelford, okay, they have a staircase that goes up to the top floor. Okay, and private lift. Okay, so private lift coming in here with some bay window over here. Okay, and the master bed and the open roof terrace. So this is the effective space. Okay, last transacted was just this year, July 2023 at 4.15 million for a duplex unit. But effective space, you minus off the staircase, minus off all this, okay, and open roof terrace, of course, you almost hit me 1,700 for utility of the space. So for this, a 4-bedder, okay, asking at close to a 5.9 million for something that is more luxury, larger space. Okay, that's something that we have another analysis for this particular layout itself. Okay, so it's something that if you're keen to find out more, okay, do approach another broker, our centralized number, so that we'll be able to vet to you in terms of this particular analysis, okay, for layout. But it's something for 1851 square feet and almost close to a 5.9 million. There's something that, okay, for some 20 years old, newer, same utility of space, is still decently justifiable. Alright. And next up, okay, we have this outlier called Adam Park Condo, okay, which we'll be looking at a little more while. Size is smaller, 9,000 square meter, land 1.4, freehold 2004, 118 units. Okay, rental even low, 2.37% as compared to the Shelford. And the reason is very simple because Adam Park, okay, if you take a look at the comparative, it's actually right next to Adam Road, next to the Fair flyover. So it's a little more noisy. You'll get more of the road noise over here. So in terms of Lux market, one thing to note is, yes, they may want to pay something of low PSF, but in terms of value-wise, they are not so sensitive in terms of pricing. They really pay high. And the unit is beautiful because you must understand, when it comes to buying at a quantum of 5 to 6 million or even 8 million kind of range, a lot of these buyers no longer think in a very rational PSF justify I'll make money from real estate kind of way, but rather they always think of, if I buy this unit, do I like it or do I not like it? So when it comes to emotional purchase, people are willing to put a higher budget. So that's why you can see PSF play, although it's low, it seems cheap, you need to take a look at quantum play even, but it's heavily discounted because of the road. Okay, and one thing that we'll take a look at is also the layout. Okay, so let's take a look at the PSF wise. Okay, one thing is square feet, 2-bedder, 2-bed, 2-bath, you can see at 1.9 million. Okay, this is the 2-bedder. The 3-bedder compact is almost at 2.3. So we are, wow, it's an amazing PSF. Why not just buy at 2.3 or 2.4, 2.5? It seems great. At 2,000 per square feet. But one thing to note, you will take a look later on, that the buyer profile of this area, they tend to want to buy bigger unit, luxury unit, not near roadside. So in the exit, you still have to add in the discount. And what price to enter, you need to also have a proper matrix to analyze this project itself. But the key thing over here is, okay, which you can see when compare, okay. So let's now take a look at the layout. So as I mentioned just now, layout is very important also. Okay, you can see Adam Park Condo is a little more odd shape. Okay, because you can see the master bedroom is curved over here, more triangular shape. So as compared to something that's more regular, okay, something more regular, people will tend to want to get something, especially in the luxury market. And the key thing over here is, in the luxury market, such layout will have a more heavy discount as compared to when you buy something in the mass market. Because right here in this kind of development, layout do matter. Okay, that's why if you just get something, a slight top up, okay, your site at like 600k even, to get something brand new, something more compact, there's something that is still justifiable. Okay, but you want to see whether it makes sense, we have to take into account of the resale price gap. Okay, which if you are keen to find out more, to approach any of our broker and we're more than happy to value add to you. And next up, let's take a look at the 4-bedder. Okay, 4-bedder is very interesting. Okay, it has a huge PS for the one that transacted, 1744 square feet. Okay, curved area. Okay, bedroom 1, 2, 3. Okay, and a master bedroom is very interesting over here. Living room is much more tighter, smaller, more compact. Okay, and they transacted a long time ago. So there's very little supply for 4-bedroom over there. You can see not many of them want to sell. And this is at a previous price 1 year ago. And the PSI went up to maybe around 2,000 per square feet today. So you're looking at 3.4. But even still, you can see compared to 4-bedroom here, the 4-bedder is going at close to 6 million plus. So this is something that, yes, it may seem PSF, well, it's half price. But one thing to take note is at the end of the day, people over here, when they buy, okay, is the own sale element of it outweighs their investment. And they make money, they do. But if they don't, they'll just hold for long term. They don't want to sell. So this is a very different asset class which requires a deeper analysis. Alright, so next up, we are done with the resale. So let's look at the new launch comparative. Okay, this is the last part already. We hope to go very in depth because a lot of people requested a more detailed proposal for this. So that's something that we hope to validate more in terms of the insights. So in terms of new launch comparative, if you look at the macro of it, what we can see is the comparative we have here. The nearest we have is Perfect 10. Okay, which is the most recent new launch around this area of a decent land plot size. And then we have something that was launched much earlier at Royal Green and 4th Avenue. Okay, so one thing you can see in the next page, okay, very, very important, to understand a little bit more about supply and demand. Okay, before that, alright, so now we have seen all these new launches in the market. Okay, so next up, we have to dive deeper into the pricing, whether this Watten House is priced correctly. So you can see right here, Okay, in terms of Perfect 10, which is the newest launch that they came out and is almost fully sold, which we'll see later on, is that now they're going at 3,004 to 3,500 per square feet for some, okay, on average. Okay, and this is something that if Watten Estate were to come out about 3,132, cheaper than an older launch that was almost fully sold already at 3,435, okay, for most of them, 3,33435, they're actually pricing very competitively to actually hedge against that. Okay, and also if you look at that of 4th Avenue, which is rising out to 2,728, okay, for 99-year land plot, which is little C. Okay, and we have Royal Green, which you see this dip. Later I explain why is there a very funny dip over here. It's not because the fire sale or drop price, nothing of such, but it's because of a layout problem. Okay, but if you see on average, if you really look at really transaction going at Royal Green right now, it's going at 2.8 to 2.9 per square feet, asking maybe closer to 3 even. So it's actually close to Watten Estate, where if you launch at 3,132, as I mentioned, or even 3,000 for itself, is actually a very competitive kind of pricing. Just if you just look at the resale and also the new launch analysis, all right. And if you look at the availability of units, okay, in District 10, you can see demand is high. If you see a lot of units left over, they might, you may be a little more concerned. But if you take a look at 4th Avenue Royal Green, in 4 years, they sold it out, although they did still only sold out after TOP because of some of the two-beders the layout is wrong in the first place. Okay, but all this are sold out. Okay, this is something that can reassure you in terms of resellability is there for District 10. And for Perfect 10, even though they priced it higher last time, maybe they were going at 3,000, now it's going at 3,500, 3. People still buy because they know there is no supply anymore. And Perfect 10 is almost close to 98% sold. That's 6 units, meaning the 2-bedder and 2-bedroom penthouse, which is maybe the reason why they don't want to release any 2-bedder for this project for Watten. Okay, and one thing to take note, okay, a lot of people have asked me, I think there's something that I want to cover up front right here. Okay, what happened in Royal Green? Why did it crash? When I'm climbing by 2005, now it's 2.6. Why is it crashing? Okay, it's not crashing at all. The one thing to take note is, in fact, some of them who bought earlier, okay, you understand about Royal Green, it has a very interesting story. Okay, the story that when it first launched, okay, at the pricing, they launched it at 2.7 to 2.8 per square feet on the higher side. Okay, and then there was a discount. For units, they dropped to 2.5. So those who bought at 2.5, congratulations, 2.5, 2.6. Whereas right now, you can see some are sold at 2.8 to 2.9 per square feet. This is the only profitable transaction they made. Okay, but they bought it at the launch price, which is the wrong pricing in the first place. Okay, but in the future, I won't be surprised. A lot of them have yet to hit sales stamp duty. So they'll be done in around 1 year or 2 years time. They may be selling higher. And this is something that we are looking forward to actually hedge the price against. Okay. But one thing to take note, why is the PSS 926 over here? That's because of this particular unit. Okay, it's the last unit by developer. Usually this last unit may have a discount, but even if it is at a discount, take note, it may not be a good buy. Okay, why so? Take a look. 710 square feet. Okay, if you take a look at 710 square feet, the layout is very important. This is a 2-bed 1 bath. Very, very bad. Okay, why? Because we have 2-bed 2 baths by 1.7 million. PSF is lower or even same. Okay, even same. At the end of the day, this is a 721 square feet 2-bed plus study. This is one of the best layout we can have here. 667 square feet. We have 2-bed 2 bath, where basically the quantum play by itself is better. And this is a 2-bed 2 bath. Okay, so right now, what happened for Royal Green? Okay, which is why the remaining units took some time to sell. Okay, honestly, it's because of the remaining this layout of 710 square feet. Where you have this kind of layout, a 2-bed 1 bath selling more expensive than a 2-bed 2 bath, you're stuck. Because at the end of the day, buyers in the future, because of when you buy this unit, if you sell to another buyer, the key thing is the buyer will compare and say, hey, if I can get a 2-bed 2 bath cheaper than a 2-bed 1 bath, or even if a 2-bed 2 bath same price or even slightly higher than 2-bed 1 bath, I'm still willing to pay. So then the developer had no choice, okay, but to resell at a slightly lower PSF. But that's only one transaction. The last transaction happened for a new launch project. Okay, that happened. But typically, a lot of them, you can see 710 or 27 to 26 plus to 28 for some even. Okay, so it's something to take note. But this is a layout that, as I mentioned, take note. Do not buy into this kind of layout. Be very wary about this kind of layout. Okay, so this hopes to explain a little more about this sudden drop, which I think a lot of clients would have asked us if you look at this. So it is, yes, we have been filming for close to 1 hour. So this is something that we really hope to go over in depth as mentioned, so you'll be able to validate to you. But one thing to take note over here, okay, we actually done a more deeper analysis, okay, that we hope to share more, of course, where we look at this thing called the resale price gap to trace whether this kind of launches, what exactly could be the appreciation value of it. And most importantly, what is the R-square value that we're looking at for right intrinsic value to enter? Okay, so with this, I hope that you have a more deeper understanding of Watten House, because this is one of the launches that we find that, hey, it's worth like dissecting a little more, understand more, and most importantly, enter at the right PSF in order to make a profit out of it. Okay, so with this, we've come to the end of this video. So if you'd like to find out more of our home tour series and also of our YouTube video investment analysis, you can actually click on this link right over here. I mean, there's a QR code, scan this QR code, where you can join our Telegram channel right here. And we have our latest updates and news, and even some of the good lobangs which you can keep an eye on in terms of for our investment community. Okay, and if you have more queries, more questions about Watten House Estate, or want to find out more about investment in general, okay, do contact our central number we flash right over here, so that we'll be able to give you a more deeper understanding of your portfolio to see whether a certain product suits you, or rather whether a certain investment analysis is right for you. Okay, so with this, I hope they enjoyed this video. My name is Christian. Thank you for watching to the end. See you soon. Bye.